Deuteronomy 31:6. Be strong and of good courage. Do not fear nor be afraid of them, for the Lord your God, He is the one who goes with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you. Courage is something we all must have to work for the Lord and do good works and do everything for Him. He calls on us to have courage and go out through the world and preach the gospel. We need to have courage. There's so many people in the Bible that has courage. But people like Noah and even Jonah had courage, even though he didn't want to go the first time. He had to. But one that prominently stands out to me is David. Turn your Bibles to 1 Samuel chapter 17 and verse 12. Verse 4. 1 Samuel chapter 17 and verse 4. And a champion went out from the camp of the Philistines, named Goliath from Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span. He had a bronze helmet on his head, and he was armed with a coat of mail. And the weight of his coat was 5,000 shekels of bronze. And he had a bronze armor on his legs, and a bronze javelin between his shoulders. Now the staff of his spear was like a weaver's beam, and his iron spear had weighed 600 shekels, and a barrier before him. We see here that this is the definition, and this is basically the biography of Goliath. Goliath is a giant. He is taller than Bradley Covert. He is very intimidating to a lot of people, except for David. The reason David was not intimidated by him, because he knew that God can defeat anything. Turn your Bibles to 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 12 through 20. We're going to go down to verse 12. Now David was the son of that Ephraite of Bethlehem, Judah, whose name was Jesse, and who had 8 sons. And the man was old, advanced in years, in the days of Saul. The 3 oldest sons of Jesse had gone to follow Saul to the battle. The names of his 3 sons who went to the battle were Eliab, the firstborn, next to him Abinadab, and the third Shammah. David was the youngest, and the 3 oldest followed Saul. But David occasionally went and returned from Saul to feed his father's sheep. And the Philistine drew near and presented himself 40 days, morning and evening. Then Jesse said to his son David, Take now for your brothers an ephah of the dried grain, and these 10 loaves, and run to your brothers at the camp, and carry these 10 cheese to the captain of their 1,000, and see how your brothers fare. You see here that David must have been young to be a younger brother. We don't really know exactly his age, but it would be around 10 to at least 17. David is a shepherd, and he doesn't have combat or military experience, but he has spiritual experience. We're going to skip down to verse 43. So the Philistine said to David, Am I a dog that you come to me with sticks? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. And the Philistine said to David, Come to me, and I will give you flesh to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field. And David said to the Philistine, You come at me with a sword, with a spear, and with a javelin. But I come to you in the name of the Lord, of the host, of the God of the army of Israel, who you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and I will strike you and take your head from you. And this day I will give the carcasses of the camp of the Philistines, beasts of the earth, to the birds of the air and the wild beasts of the earth, that all may know that there is a God in Israel. We see here that David is ready to fight Goliath. He's ready to face his giant. We are also facing giants today. We are facing Satan. He also known as devil. We must face our giants with the power of God. James 4:7 says that if we are able to stay strong, the devil will flee from us if we are able to make it past temptation. We must also, sometimes we won't be ready. But we must always study our Bible to be ready. And we must have courage once we are prepared to go out into the world and teach others to be ready and have courage. We must have courage so we can also have Philippians 4:13, because we can do all things through Christ that strengthens us, and we must defeat our giants. Thank you.